Okay, how you doing, everybody? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me before I get going here. I don't want to be doing a lot of talking and make sure that no one can hear me. So if you can just type yes over into the box there and let me know, I'll keep on rolling and start letting you know some things about Pinterest. Are they all showing up there, Jay?
Yeah, everybody looks like they're good to go.
Okay, cool. So they can all hear me. All right. Mining Pinterest Gold is a product. There's been so many products out there about Pinterest right now. It's very hot, and I'm going to tell you some stats in a few minutes, and maybe you've heard them all and everything. But mining Pinterest Gold is about making your images stand out on Pinterest because there's so many of them. They're so busy, and I'm going to give you a tour of my boards and things like that to show you some of the things that we do to make our images stand out, and I'll show you, some of the ways that we're working with it as we go along. We also in the product here, because we're not going to be covering a lot of basics about how to set up an account and how to create boards and how to do pinning. But I do have a PDF in here that Barbara Ling, one of the girls that we work with, included with this product. This product got WSO of the Day on the Warrior Forum there a couple weeks ago. So, like I say, there's a lot of good information. I think you're going to enjoy it. So, I'm going to start going through the slides, and then I'm going to, after I go through a few of them and tell you some things about Pinterest and tell you about me, Ed, and Martha, and some of my sites, then I'm going to go right on to some of the tools that we use to make our images stand out so that you can see how they work. And just so that you know, everything that we talk about here today, they're all free tools. They're all cross-platform. So whether you use a Mac or a PC, they're going to work for you. They don't cost any money. And as long as you have an internet connection, and if you're listening to me, you have an internet connection, then you're going to be able to watch it no matter how old your computer is. No downloading software or any of that stuff. We keep it real simple because I'm not the sharpest knife. I need things to be simple, so you'll see that they are. So let's move through some of the slides here. Let's go down to the next one here and just give you some of the stats on pictures. I'm going to just move this window over here a little bit so I can see. All right, so now I'm going to assume that you haven't heard these things, but maybe you have, but I guess you probably all know that it's probably the hottest site out there right now. It's growing faster than Facebook did. And the site's only been around for a couple of years. It's one of the top 100 when I got the stats, but now I understand it's one of the top 30. So it's cranking right along. Pinterest sends more referral traffic than Twitter. Okay, daily Pinterest users increased by more than 145% since January. In February, there were 10.4 million registered users. 9 million of those were monthly Facebook users. And that's not bad considering that Pinterest is an invitation-only site. So you need to be invited. If you're not invited, then when you go to Pinterest to get on there, it can take you anywhere from 3 days to a week. So we will have, for those of you that haven't been invited, we can invite you and you can get on immediately. So at the end of the call, we'll give you an email that you can get to, and I'll show you when I do the tour of mine where I can just add you folks immediately and get you started so you can get rolling. And I know Jay told me most of you are all offliners. So this is really good, the information I'm giving you to bring traffic to your site. I've already done some checks with it. With some analytics, so and you'll be able to see what we use for that as I go down through the slides. So let me get on to the next slide here, and this is the three of us, the three amigos or whatever you want to call us. But Ed Akehurst, who was on the call with us today, and Martha is out there too. But Jay tells us when we do webinars, it's best to only have 3 people. So Martha volunteered to take a back seat and give us the floor here today. So like as you look at each of us here, you can see Ed Akehurst is an expert in SEO and offline marketing. And Ed is from Maryland or Pennsylvania. I think it's Maryland. It's funny, as a team here we're all from different states, but we work together probably closer than someone that's in an office. We're talking to each other all the time. Martha is a networking expert and does online marketing. She's expert there. and I am video graphics and multimedia. I also have a photography studio that I've had for 30 years where I've done photography and video. So Pinterest definitely has a spot in my heart, and where I love marketing and I like photography and video, they're going to work together great. And so that's who we are. And let's go down a couple more things here. I'm going to go down to my next slide. These are two of my websites that are in my photography niche. Okay, the one on the left is it's a stock photo agency that I have that I keep images onto, and the one on the right is my immersive photography website. So just so that you know that I've been working at it, and I definitely have some credibility when it comes to photography and imaging. And then I wanted to show you these two sites too, because later on, in case someone asks me about things to do with copyright and things like that, I can put anything I want onto Pinterest because these are my images, but we're going to talk about that down here a little bit more about whether you want to get into putting things on there that you don't have copyright to or whatever. Repinning is a different story, but we'll talk about that, and you can ask me questions if you don't understand what I mean by that. All right, so that's kind of all the groundwork beforehand. And just so you know, I'm going to go through two of the tools that we use here. I'm going to give you a tour of my site first, so you can see that I have been active on Pinterest. I've been active on it for a month and a half, and I go on there every day for 10 minutes or so, and in the end, we're coming up with a product next week too called Pinterest Test Lab, so that we know it brings traffic, but we want to find over a period of time what the best money-making model is, so that we'll be showing that. So anyways, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to show you a tour of my site, then we're going to go into a couple of other, I'm going to show you, and then my wife is going to come in, Susan, who's a Photoshop expert, and she's going to show you a site that's free that you can work with, do a lot of Photoshop techniques and things like that that we're talking about here. So that's good. Ed, did you want to add anything before I get into showing these things around here? Are you comfortable the way things are going? Am I loud enough? Can everybody hear me? You
Yeah, I
hear
think you
Ed?
sound good, Ed. If anybody's having a hard time, just let Jay know in the chat
Yeah,
box. Ed, why
we're
don't you
getting
take a
yes.
moment, if you would, before we get into good, excellent. Ed, can you take a minute before you get into some of the training here? And I think it would be a good time now to talk about copyright. It's a pretty big deal on Pinterest. It's easy to obey the rules. It's easy to, to be safe, so to speak. But why don't we take a couple minutes before we show them how to use their images and really make them stand out and use them for traffic. Let's talk about what images they might not want to use, might want to use, how they can check a copyright, what a license is, and just maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, sure. And I got to put my caveat out there like everybody else does. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't show that any of the things when I gave my information beforehand. So I'll tell you my take on it, and I'll show you a page right where the terms of use are for the Pinterest. And I'll show you a really cool article that I saw about it too. But let me bring that up here real quick here.
Yeah, Ed's. I know there's been a lot of, I guess, internet chatter on the social media sites and everywhere else about people pinning stuff on Pinterest and copyright. But realistically, it's no different than people sharing links on Facebook and then pulling in thumbnails.
Correct.
Mashable is one
Exactly.
example.
Yeah, exactly right. You obviously can't go in there and take other people's things and claim them as your own. But like you said, it's the same as working with Facebook or other social sites. But the difference here is this is all images, so you kind of got to be careful about it.
Hmm.
My thoughts on that, and I'm not going to read through the whole article because that would be terribly dry, and I don't want to do that to you. But if you look here in the recording, recording up above here because you're doing a recording of this, Jay, so they can grab, if you look right up across the top here, that's the link to this here article. And as you go down here in the article, right here, there's a link to their terms of use. I'll go there, but then I'm going to come back, because again, that's dry. That's like watching paint dry to to go over terms of service. But here they are. That's everything that we'll explain it to you. I'm going to go through the article and just explain my take on it. Again, letting you know that I'm certainly not a lawyer. All right. So, but I think that the way that I do it, I showed you my photography site and I showed you my stock photo site. Okay, those are my images. I can do whatever I want with them. And when you look at the terms of service, Pinterest has said that they don't sell your images anymore. Initially they did, but in the article it explains that they don't do that. Okay, so but anyways, if I want to pin any of my images that I have modeling rights from the people or that I taken myself, there's not a problem there because they're my images. There's no copyright problems. But you want to be careful about what you do put on there. You can obviously put on anything that you take photographs of, and then when you go in there, when you're going on the boards and you're building up your boards, my thought on is you can repin because somebody else has already taken and added that information in there, so it's like a Facebook type of thing. So if you repin it, you're just putting, you're not the source of it. So when you build up your board for your particular niche, whether it be camping or photography, cameras, whatever it is, you take and repin what other people have put on there, and you will never come up with a shortage of it, as I'll show you when we go through. There is so much information on Pinterest. All right, so I hope that helped you. Does that explain it a little bit? That's my take on it. That's not a lawyer's take on it. But when you go and read this article, that'll explain it better, and then you can, figure it that way. Is that helpful, Ed? Does that kind of go over it a little bit, Jay?
Yeah, that's basically the same way that I assumed it was, just from basically being on the rest of the social networks over the past half a decade or so.
Okay. Okay, but if they want to go check it,
and of course there are sources. You can look up also copyright-free images, such as through Creative Commons. Just check the licenses and make sure an attribution is not required. But there are places you can also go to use images that aren't yours, and it only takes a second to look up the license. So.
Right, when you go to Flickr, if you're going to use images from Flickr and stuff like that, when you look at the licensing on it, if it says Creative Commons, they'll tell you what you can and cannot do with it. So a lot of times people don't have a problem with you, sharing them and using them, but they don't want you selling them or using them for marketing purposes or whatever. And so, like I say again, I'm not a lawyer, so take it, that way. But if that's good, can I move on to the next section, or do we need to discuss that anymore? Is everybody comfortable within your group with that, Jay?
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions so far.
All right, let me bring this back down here. Ed, how about yourself? You all good with that?
I think we're golden.
All right, then. Perfect. All right, I have to remember that there's a delay here sometimes. All right, so let's go.
Yeah, there's a good second and a half delay.
Okay, cool. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to go into my Pinterest account. This is just a slide for it, but we're going to go into it here in a second, and we're going to look at it. And I'm going to give you a little tour of it, show you some of the things you can do with it, show you how I make my images stand out, which I'm going to show you after on separate websites. But just to give you a quick tour of things here. So. Anyways, like I say, this is my Pinterest account. I've been working on it for a little over a month. I do at least 10 pins a day, but usually way more than that. And I do it usually in the morning and in the evening. All right, so I'm going to bring this down below here, and I am going to bring up so that we can see my Pinterest boards and go live onto my Pinterest area here. Okay, so let's click on here. All right, and let's just go over here. And I'm going to explain a couple of things to you about everything set up here too. But there I am. All right, and you can see that I have 500 followers already, and I follow 349. I don't follow everybody right now just because some people come through and they have nothing on their boards. So when they do it. I'm not trying to be snobby or anything, but that's how I handle it. Um, so you can see that I have 32 boards. I've done 915 pins, all right, and I've done them in a lot of different categories here. All right, so like I say, as I train you, I've definitely done the work on it. I go through it a lot. So, and when you set your boards up, like I said, I have 32 of them. You probably won't do that many. Mine are not organized the way I want them to be right now. You want to make sure when you do this that you put your niche or your sites that you want to promote in the top fold. So, and that
Hmm.
isn't a problem because not many people have this many boards. Like I say, I go way down into here with different things. So most people, 14 boards will do it, so they're all above the fold, so everybody will see things that they want here. But like I told you in the beginning, if you are not on Pinterest, if you want to not have to worry about the waiting period, um, let's go back here. Hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. And then I get the gremlins that go slow on me here. Um, okay, over here, I can go in, and when you get it yourself, or you're trying to do different things with Pinterest, I can just go here, add your email into it. If you email me, and when I send the invites, you'll get it. You can click in, and you can get rolling with this. All right, so like I say, for those of you that might not be in it yet, and if you don't want to wait 3 days to a week, just send us an email, and I'll send that right out and get you in here. All right, so now I want to show you a couple of things that we're going to be going and we're going to be working on here later. Um, we're going to be using, I'm going to show you right after this, a site called UR to Pin It. Okay, and what you can do with URL to pin it, these are some of the tools. Okay, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click on to edit this board. When you go on it, you can take and add websites of any websites that you want. All right, now I only have a few on here. Actually, I have all of mine on here that are things that I work with. And so you can, I'll show you, you'll see how it works in a minute. Like I say, when we get on it, you just type in the URL you want, and you click on pin, and it automatically goes to the board that you want. It's pretty cool. Because normally you can't, if you've ever tried to copy a site or something like that, you can only get a portion of it, when you're going along. So, all right, that's one tool that we're going to be covering on for putting on whole websites. All right, now let's see. Let's go down here to kitchen designs, which is right here, and I'm going to click on that into that board. And like I said, what we want to teach you to do is we're going to show you. One of the things when I do here is I put AdSense sites on these also, so that they say when you do your pins here, if you're going to set up something to drive traffic or make money from it, you should put 8 pins that are just repins from somebody else that you don't have affiliate links or Amazon links or AdSense links on, so that you're not kind of spamming. You don't want to upset the community. You want to make sure that that, like I say, just most of it's good information for people to look at, and then you throw in a couple, like right here. You see this middle one here, and when I click on it here, okay, it goes to one of my AdSense sites. All right, and there it is. I'll make sure not to click off here too quick because I forget about the 1 second delay, and you might miss that. All right, but Jay, do you see that on there? Does it come up? I'm not gonna. If I click off it, it's okay now, right?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay, perfect. And then, like I say, whenever, and also keep in mind that every time you put a pin on here and you add a link into it, which I'll show you in the next slide, whoever goes in and repins your image or whatever with your link on it, wherever it goes, whoever repins it, 10 people deep, whatever, it goes with your link in it. All right, so it gets a chance, it gets something special in there, it can go viral and really, show your information in a lot of different places. So hopefully that helps you a little bit there. So let's go back again. And we're going to, this is one of the things that Susan's going to go over with you with Pixlr, showing you how to do framing. So let me get into my Infinite Marketing board here. All right here. So we'll click on that one. All right, and then if you just go down just a little bit here, you can see these two right here. Most of these things don't have borders on them. We show you how to put borders on them, so when your eye goes across, it kind of goes right to the ones that have the borders, whatever colors you want, whatever textures you want, different things like that. We're going to show you how to do those particular type of things, because like I say, I don't know, I'm sure most of you go on Facebook. If you ever see the little Facebook ads on the side, and you all know Armand Morin, you'll see that Armand Morin always puts a little red border around his to make his stand out. So it's the same concept here. When you're working in Pinterest, you want to make sure that you see all of those things. All right, so with the borders and stuff like that, as you see right here, it makes it stand out. And I'll show you even some fancy ways to do it with TextB. But let's go over here. All right, and let's see. Yeah, with the nice photographs. When we go into TextB, that's another way of building borders, but that's for doing some really fancy ones and doing it kind of easy for you. So this is my nice photographs. This is one of my favorite ones here. And let's go down here. All right, right here, this image right here, we took with TextB and we put a textured image around it just to make it stand out. And I'll show you how we can change the colors and do all kinds of different things. But for this demonstration, I just wanted to show it so it definitely stood out from the rest of them. Even though they're all such beautiful pictures, you know, you tend to look at all of them anyways. But if we've got a product of, you know, of a bunch of kitchen things and stuff like that, this helps it stand out. Like I say, we're going to go in and look at that in a minute. All right, and on the last one on my board here, let's go in and we'll go to my animals board, and I'll show you how we can make these little posters on it. All right, that are kind of cool. I'm sure if you've been in here, you've seen it, or it's just a nice thing to know how to do. All right, so and there's a couple of programs. I'm just going to show you one of them that we work with here to make these little posters. Let's go on down here. Miss it. Sorry about the loading. I have so many things on here. Things load a little slow sometimes. All right, so let me find dogs. Okay, so right over here, here is one that I made where I did a poster. You know, let's see, probably can't see that. So when it comes in a little clearer, you know, you can do that. You can change the color of the lettering when it comes in clear, sharper. It'll be a little clear. There we go. Okay, so you can do little things like that and make, you know, little poster things, put sayings in there, whatever you want to do. All right, so
now, Ed, is that one of your online applications that you did the poster with?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That'll be the second one that we're going to go over. I'm going to go over right now. I'm going to go down there. Let's see, I probably should show you some things in here real quick about linking and stuff like that, even though that's not what the program is about. You might want to just see it, you know, for, like I said, you guys are all trying to bring traffic to your site, so I'll just show you real quick how to do it. And if you have any questions, you said you're going to do some more things on this later. I can come in at another time and elaborate more on it, but like there's so much information.
And I think that would be a real good thing to elaborate on. A lot of people, from what Jay said, a lot of people on tonight are offliners. So like what you were showing earlier, where you can throw an AdSense site link in there, you could do that to an affiliate site, or if you're an offliner, you could put your brick and mortar business or one of your clients' brick and mortar businesses in there to a real great image. And as that thing gets out there over the internet and people pin it and repin it and pass it around amongst their friends, that's just more exposure for that website. So I think that would be great if you could take a moment and show everybody that.
All right, not a problem. I'll go and do that. And like I said, I'm not going to get into showing you how to do all the pinning and build the boards, because Barb has a product in there that shows you that. I mean, if we get into the question portion of it after and someone wants me to show it, then I'll go back and go over it. But I don't want to keep you here all night either. So let's let me just show you here on my internet marketing pin board, and we'll go down to a couple of other ones here. All right, let me see this one right here. A few ways that men can use Pinterest. Okay, and then you see right down here that I have my mining Pinterest gold. So that, you know, if I click on that, obviously it's going to take me right to it. If I click on the graphic itself, then again down here it has, you know, the Mine Pinterest Gold, and then also we have hashtags down here, and when you put the hashtags in here like that for the keyword that you're working for, they're clickable, and that brings your pin into the search box. You know, so when someone goes and looks for that, you know, this will bring your image into the search area when they're looking for it. So just a couple little quick tips there. Like I say, that, I didn't mean to get into that, but as I look at it, I'll let you know those things. And also, when I set up the boards ahead of time, I also go right up to the top here, and I do a little explanation about the board, and then I'll also take and put, you know, our stack site where all of our products are. And this isn't live, but then people will see that all the time. So if they like some of the things that they want here, they can. It's just more exposure, you know, for our Mine and Gold products. And again, I put the hashtags in there, but up in the description here, they're not live, but they are within the pin. Is that helpful? Do you understand what I mean? Did I go through that too quick?
Yeah, Ed, when you get to the point where you work on Pixlr and some of the photo editing, Kim asked about how people are making some of these long images like that. Can you cover that a little bit?
Okay, these are all infographics. Okay, that what she's asking right here. Okay, and there is a site. I don't have the site with me, but if you want, I can send that over to you where you can go in and make these yourself. And that's also a free thing here, so that you can go in and make these long infographics.
Okay.
And I'm sorry I don't have that prepared for you. But like I say, I've gone in and done some of them. It's pretty easy. So we'll let me write that as a quick note here, infographics, and I'll remember to send that over to you, Jay, so you can send that over to Kim, and she has that information, so she can go in and make that. That's also a free online place where you can make these infographics.
Okay, that's awesome. I've been here and I haven't tried it myself, but I hear the infographics are grabbing quite a bit of traffic.
Yeah, they do
yes.
do pretty good. They do pretty good. I have a lot of people from different times. You know, like I say, under here you can see where they like and repin and stuff like that. Like I say, they do like the infographics because every day I get things, you know, emails from me telling me people that have repinned my stuff, and the internet marketing people get into it now a lot, and it's surprising the big names that are following me right now, because like I say, I've established quite a few boards here, so they go in there and they check, and they're eating these things up, because like I say, if you look down, it covers everything. I mean, I got Pinterest, but I've got Facebook, I got mobile in here, all kinds of things. So, and tell anybody in your group to feel free to go into any of my boards and repin and stuff like that. You know, like I say, you can see Mari Smith here. You know, she knows about it. She's a big, pretty sure she's a big Facebook girl. She's kind of the go-to girl for that. As you go through, you'll see a lot of that type of thing. So, but anyways, you want me to go down and show you the Amazon stuff and some of the affiliate things too, real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's
yeah, I was telling them earlier about I'd shared an article about this kid. I think he was only like 18 or 19 years old, who got into Pinterest right when it started, I guess, and this was before Pinterest was doing the skim links. And he's got something like 40 or 42 different of those little like mini laptops going with Pinterest bots, just pinning like just Amazon links like crazy all over Pinterest, and he's almost hit the 1 million mark in like 9 months time.
Yeah, because I don't think they're skimming them. I mean, I put some things on a month ago when they talked about that, and I'll show you when we go down to my Amazon stuff. And my affiliate links are still in there. So they haven't done anything.
Yeah, I got an email from them when they changed their terms of service again back, what was that, about a month ago, I guess, after that article come out, and they'd stopped doing that.
Right. So when you build up the stores, I mean, I have some pretty I have an automated way of doing it too, where I build up e-commerce sites, and they'll just go in there. I can show it to you if you want, but like I say, I can get so involved with it. I've been doing so many things, but I have an e-commerce site that goes out there for 10 different niches that I want. Every hour it downloads different products in there, and then I go in and cherry pick them and drop them into the niches that I want here, instead of having to
Mm-hmm.
go in and do that. And I also have an outsource from the Philippines that I haven't started doing anything with her yet, but she does other things. And pretty soon I'm going to be doing that, and that'll be in my other course, explaining how that goes too. The automated stuff scares me a little bit, only because I know that kid's doing real well, and I suppose you could set up a second account and mess with that. But I think at some point they're going to start probably banning people, just like they usually do for people that get in with the automated bots and that type of thing. And
Right.
I worked hard in this one here, so like I say, if I want to experiment, and I probably will, I'll do it with an account that I won't be too concerned about if they delete it. So.
Yeah, I
Um,
actually bought a PVA Facebook account that I use just for testing, and I'm not so money hungry that I get into the spamming and for that. But again, when I test with Facebook ads or AdWord ads or say with Pinterest or something like that, I don't want to mess with my primary accounts
right.
just
So
to be
that
on the safe side.
Right, so that's a good thing for everybody to know, and they probably know that anyways. But in case they don't, if you work hard to develop something like this, I mean, you can do everything right, and they can go in and get you sometimes. So you don't want to
Hmm.
give them a reason to go after you. That's my thoughts on that. So okay, let me go down here and show you a couple of other ways that actually I'm gonna back into here. I get rambling on and I forget where I'm at. Like I say, a little bit of a nitwit sometimes. Okay, let's go down here and let's go into this kitchen stuff one here. Okay, because this is one where I put some Amazon things in here, so you can see. I'll be able to show you my other site that I'm building too real quick. But in here, you go into your Amazon, so I'll click here. All right, and it should come up in a second. All right, and if you look up in the browser, I mean, there's my Amazon link. So this has been in there for quite a while. They're not stripping it. So
Hmm.
anybody happens to go, like this particular thing, this is kind of boring, but whatever, it gets the point across. I mean, if anybody likes that, I mean, in fact, I'll show you in a second. I was surprised. We got 10 repins right off the bat. Then it just goes out in every place it goes, unless someone really knows they go in and change it. But it just keeps on going out with your link on it. So, like I say, as we test and make things better, it'll work out better for getting leads and converting those leads. So let me close that one. All right, and this one over here, this is the one I was telling you about. I built. This is the site right here that I built called the Zone, and this is the automated one where it goes out. And it's actually WP Robot, and I think you probably all know
Okay.
about that. But like I say, I'm not trying to get ranked here for any of this stuff. So let's see if we can get some. Okay, there it goes. All right, and it just goes through it shows all these different things, whether it's that or golf equipment. And then I didn't go over putting a pin it button, but if you look up here on my site, if I click on this pin it button, Susan does go into it on the product. Okay, and then all you do
Okay.
is you have to click this right here. Okay, and it shows you all the images that are on there, and then you just pin it, and then you can send that over to whatever board you want it to. All right, so if you don't want to do it manually, 'cause like I said, I didn't want to get into a whole lot of explaining that because that's a webinar in of itself. But Barbara's stuff will show you that, or if we need to go over it later, I can. But anyway,
Okay.
that's one of the ways that I take the women's clothing, video pets, all that stuff like that are all good, and I add them in down there. All right, so let's go on out of here. All right.
Uh, Guys out there, I know you guys haven't really got into the affiliate stuff much yet. Do you have any other questions about Amazon or give them just a second if they got anything to type?
Yeah, no problem. I'm refreshing everything here. Anyways, like I say, when it goes pokey on me sometimes. Let me just see the. I'm trying to remember which one.
No, it looks like we're good.
All right, Ed, are you comfortable with that? I mean, like I say, I mean, there's all kinds of ways of going with it. Like I said, that's for another day. I mean, we haven't even gotten into showing them how to do the processes here, and we're using up some time. We can do this another time, maybe after we put our next product out that's going to show you exactly all the monetization strategies, and then, like I say, we're going to be improving upon that all the time. So, if it's okay with your group there, I'm gonna move on and get to showing how to get it, some of these tools to make your images stand out. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
let's go into the driving the traffic, because really that's a main thing. What Pinterest is about is driving the traffic, and where, like, basically, like you said, where we send it or what you do with it after you generate the traffic. So it's a whole nother day or multiple days in itself.
That's right. And as I go along through my presentation, you'll see some of the ways of driving the traffic. But basically, it's putting it in here, hashtagging your keywords, then putting the pins on your blog and stuff like that. So when people click on it, it brings traffic. I'll show you a girl. You can go look at her site that gets 6,000 pins a day. She sells a free product. She lives up in Alaska, and she does like plans for houses and stuff like that. Not houses, but building tables or sheds and stuff like that. She gives them away for free, but because so many people come to the site, she sells ads and makes a full-time living doing just that.
I
Um,
think the key with traffic, and what Ed and Sue are going to show here in just a minute, the key with traffic on Pinterest, because Pinterest is an image-based site and people are looking through images, the real key is getting your images repinned. Having people say, hey, well, that's cool, I want to repin that, I want to put that on my board. And the secret to that is making your images stand out. When you're looking at a whole field of images, you want the visitor's eye to go to your image, to go to a particular image, especially one that has an affiliate link or that has a link to maybe an offline client's website, for example, so that gets repinned and repinned again and again. So the techniques that Ed's going to get ready and show you here now, and Sue is going to show you also, are designed to make those images stand out from the crowd, so that you've got a much higher chance of those images being repinned and passed around and potential to go viral.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jay. Because I've been building up the boards, but I've also been taking and putting Google Analytics on certain sites that I'm trying to drive traffic to. And
Hmm.
I've noticed that when I go in here and just pin for certain niches, and I look the next day when the analytics, it does drive traffic. Now it's not massive; it's only like 50 or 60 people a day, but I'm sure it's scalable, and you can make it much more than that. Like I say, I'm just still experimenting with it and trying to make the right way of doing things. I think that if anybody tells you right now that they know exactly how to make money with it, aside from the girl Anna there, I mean, you might make a few affiliate commissions, but I think you've got to evolve it certain ways. But there's no doubt that it'll bring traffic, and there are ways of doing it offline and local and stuff like that that I'm not prepared to go into now, but you can do those things. So, anyways,
Awesome.
let me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did
No,
you
I
say
said
something?
awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into. Let me get on to back on down to my slides, so I know where I want to go next. Is that good for everybody? Does that help by going through and just showing a little tour of my site and how I've used some of the areas? Is that good, Jay, for your people?
I'll see if anybody has any more questions so far. And we're getting goods and excellence, and looks like we're good to go. Let's get into
Okay.
the nitty gritty.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's get down into this stuff here then. Um, let's see. So I'm going to go to my next one. Okay, and the next one here is going to be, like I say, URL dependent. Okay, again, a free cross-platform web-based site that will allow you to take a screenshot of any URL you want and includes a pin it button. So let's go take a look at that. All right, so I have it up here. There it is. All right, so I don't know. Give me a URL, Jay, that you want me to type in here that might have some pictures on it. If you don't, I'll
Um,
type in one of mine.
I'll give you one. I'll type it into Skype to you there. It's a great site.
What's the name of it? Just tell me, because I
It's jspan.com. JAYS.
JSPN.
It's JAY.
That's, I'm sorry. JAY. Is that right there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's submit it. Takes a second, obviously, but you can either just do it like I did here, or you can, put the www in front of it.
Okay, I'll type that into the chat to everybody. URL to pin.
Okay, there is your free training. Looks like there's no images for us to see on it. That's okay. Let me put mine in real quick.
It got my pop-up for the webinar.
Yeah.
I framed the sign-up page in a pop-up.
Okay, so but you could that's still, like, if you look over here to the right, you can see that there's your pin it button. Okay, I'm going to click on it and just show you that if you click on it, all right, then it's going to go up here, all right, and then if you don't have, you can either put it into one of your categories here, or you can go down below and you can create a new board. All right, and then
is there any limits how many boards you can have, or how many pictures?
There's not any limit to how many boards you have. There are not any limit to any accounts that you have, as far as I know. I mean, I've asked that, I've seen it, and everybody says, no, you can pretty much do what you want. Like I said, the only caveat I would say is, watch out for the automated stuff. If you're going to do that, just do it on a site that you don't mind losing. You know what I mean? At some point, they all seem to catch up with that stuff. Like I say, right now, this Pinterest is an invite-only place. All right, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever take it off an invite place. I mean, I guess it gives you that scarcity thing. Why take it off when you're doing so good with it? Maybe if everybody can get it, they won't want as much. I don't know, but I don't. Like I say, I'm just rambling on. I'm sorry. But anyway, that's how URL pin it works. Okay, so if you want to build a board that has just notices or different websites, you can do that, and that's kind of a cool little automatic tool, and it doesn't cost anything. Does anybody need to know anything about that before I move on to Tuxby?
Did everybody get that URL in the chat menu?
Yeah, it's URL to pin.it, and like I say,
yeah, it looks like they see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go up here. I just want to follow my slides. Okay, so now the next one is going to, when I showed you the borders before, this is going to show you all kinds of things. I'll just go in there and show you a couple of them, but this site will give you hundreds of variations to your images to make them stand out and get your images noticed. So let's put this back down here. All right, and let me get to Tuxby up here. All right, and again, like I said, everything's free here, so this is, again, another free online platform. Don't make a difference. You can use it no matter what. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick an image from my desktop. So let's, I'll leave this one here for Susan. I'll just take this little small one here. Okay, I'm going to open that up. All right, and that should open up here in a window here in a second. All right, and now there's the image, okay, right there. And I'm going to go down here, and like I said, literally hundreds of different things that you can do with this. But let's just let's put a flower frame on it just for now, just to kind of give you the idea. So we're going to click on that. All right. And then you see your image right there inside of a flower frame, which would make it stand out against all the white stuff. But not only that, okay, when you go over here, you can go down and you can pick what kind of flower you want it to be. So if you want it to be these guys here, see these yellow ones, then you click on that. Okay, and it would look like that. And you can also go here and you can choose the frame size. So if you want the frame to be a little bigger, you go to 20%, okay? And there you go, the frame's bigger. But I don't think we want it that big, but just, so that you can see it. Okay, let's bring it back down to about, well, what was it, 8%? Let's bring it to 8% where it was. Okay, same thing with the mat in here. If you want the mat, you can make the mat bigger. Okay, if you don't want the mat, you just go 0, okay, and the mat goes away. All right, So, like I say, lots of versatility, lots of things that you can do with it. And there's even more things down here as far as flat and smooth and raised edges and stuff like that. I don't get into that. I just want to have this type of thing here. And then, like I say, if you don't like that, you can just go down here again, and I don't know, whatever you want. Maybe you want to put a photo film edge around it. Okay, then there you go. Now that doesn't give you a lot more options to work with, but it does give you that film effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, with framing, if you look, this is just a good place you can go in and play around and do all kinds of things with it. Like if you just want a solid frame, you can go in here and you can again, the same type of a thing. You can go over here. You can pick the color of the frame. So if you want it to be red, you just go right there and it should change to red. Okay, and again, like I showed you with the other stuff, the mat size, the frame size, whatever percent, you visually see it here anyway, so you know what it looks like. So that's a real good tool to use to show people how to make their images stand out over everybody else's. Does anybody have any questions about that? Because I could go on and on with that, but I think you get the idea of how that works.
While they're
I'm sorry?
typing any questions in that they might have, it would be a good time to mention that it's not so important what the frame is or what design you choose. You're really looking for contrast. You want something that, when you're looking at a page with 12 or 15 or 18 or 20 pictures, it's going to be different. And it might be different depending on the niche. For example, if the niche is boats, there's probably going to be a lot of blue on the page because they're going to be taking pictures of boats in the water. So you want to pick a nice vibrant color that would really contrast against the blue, perhaps a bright red or something like that. So whatever you think is going to be a lot of pictures in that type of a category, find something that'll contrast against that. That's really the important thing if you're looking to have somebody click your picture and repaint it over others.
That's a great point, Ed. Great point. Great point.
Yeah, Ed's, I totally agree, and everybody's saying that they're loving this site. I used to do, well, I still do a little bit, but not near as much as it was. But I used to buy a lot of Facebook ads, and I used to test a lot of advertising on Plenty of Fish. And everybody that's in that circle or whatever, your picture on your ad, even as small as it is 90% your advertisement. And something like a little red border or a little yellow star or basically whatever you can get past the people who approve the photos can make or break, an advertising campaign, whether it's profitable or bleeding money.
Perfect.
Ed, we have a question here from Josette. Are there any size restrictions when pinning?
Well, geez, the biggest sizes that I've seen that you put in there, I mean, you can put whatever size you want in there, but they're going to resize it to work into the board anyways. So it's better off to probably stay, I don't know, probably 800 by 600 pixels max, and then they're going to resize it. And then when you're uploading it or downloading it or whatever, it's not going to take all day to do it. You know what I mean? For them to make the corrections and that type of a thing. Does that help you?
Great.
Yeah, if you don't want to mess with resizing it, I think you can take anything, because I've just played around with pinning some pictures today that I had taken with my DSLR, and I mean, they were taken from RAW down to PNG, so they were still like 13 megabytes or 8 megabytes. So resolution-wise, I wouldn't even imagine how big they were, but it took them, but it took forever.
Yeah, Sue will show you how to resize things anyways with Pixlr, okay? Pretty soon. She's coming up in a minute. But just so that you know, when you get to this point here, again, all you got to do is go to your pin it button up here, whatever you have here, and you pin it, and I believe it's going to go right over here, and there you go. It's all set to go. So that's pretty cool. And then also you can take and you can download it right onto your computer. So that you have the image on your computer if you want to do anything with it that way there too. Like I say, it's a cool site, and you get playing in there and you'll be there a long time. But is that good? Is everybody good with TuxBee?
Any other questions about that, guys, so far? Kim's asking about other shapes about posting different shapes of pictures. Is
Yep, you
there
can do that.
okay?
No, yeah, when you can do shapes. I didn't have any on mine, but I see them there all the time. And you can do that with this Tuxby down here. Here's your shape editor right here. So let's just take a quick peek with it and see what it does. Okay, so there's your shape. Okay, and then you can go over here on the side, and it has a whole bunch of other shapes. So that if you want to make it a star, then you just click on the star, or whatever it is, that works. Like there's all kinds of different shapes there.
Yeah, and that's
So
definitely a way to make it stand out from just your average. Your eye is going to be drawn to that over squares and rectangles.
right. So like I say, the things that you learn here, it'll show you how to do all kinds of those types of things. Um, but anyways, okay, we all good with Tuxby?
Yep, Tuxby's good.
Okay, good. Then I am going to pull up Pixlr here. And Ed, if you just want to talk with everybody for just 2 seconds, I want to get Susan, and I'm going to let my wife Susan show you this here, because Photoshop and the image editing, this is what she does in the studio all the time. So instead of me fumbling around, she'll be able to show you real quick. And the purpose of using this here, again, this is a free online photo editor, no matter what computer. You don't have to download any, like GIMP, you have to download software, whether it's a Mac or a PC, and all the other ones. This one here, no matter where you are, what computer you're on, you can go in there and work on your images. So that's what I like about it. So she's going to come over here and show you, how to make your images stand out by just, if you want to do custom stuff, like not all the time everything you're going to want is going to be in Tuxby. And if you want to put like your sign behind it or some texture that you don't find in there, you can take a picture of anything and then take and use the picture and put your image on top of the picture. So another way of doing things. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to grab her and she's going to come in here and go over that real quick with you. All right. So I'll be right back.
While he's doing that, is everybody getting some good ideas out of this? Is this some good info? Is it helping you?
Have you guys come up with any ideas yet? You can use this for your offline business or anything else to drive traffic?
Yeah, this really is marvelous for offline businesses because, like Ed showed earlier, you can put on your board you can put a link to your business, but the important thing is you can put a link in the picture description to the link to your business, and then what you can do with it when people repin it, as long as it stands out and that image really stands out and it's a cool image and people are like, wow, I want that on my board, they'll repin it and that link goes with it. That's
Right.
the beautiful thing of it. People just don't, they don't change those links. They stay in there, and it can really get viral. So if you're an offline marketer and you're building a repertoire, because I do a lot of offline. That's one of the things I do a lot of. So I'll, for a particular client, I might run a Facebook campaign. I might run a reputation management campaign. We might build a website. So many different things you can put in your repertoire. Pinterest is now another thing you can put in there. You can build boards for clients, and if you can take a board and really make it stand out and show them or do for them how to put things up there, how to make them stand out, how to get those links out there all over the internet, all over Pinterest. That's just another service you can add to the mix. And the nice thing about it is this is really easily outsourced. So once you learn how to do it and you understand the concepts and you understand contrasting the images and making them stand out and keeping the links with it, you can teach someone to do that, and you can just go out there and get offline contracts all day long. And it's a beautiful, brand new opportunity for the offliner. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I know one thing that I used to do with my ads on Facebook with a couple restaurant clients. I used to take pictures of their food, and a lot of times there were stock photos of food, but nobody had to know that. But
Right.
I would put the phone number for their business right at the lower part of the photo. So sometimes people would call these businesses and not even click. So I wouldn't even get the cost for them clicking on the ads. They would just call straight to the business.
Right, and keep in, because that's a beautiful idea, and keep in mind you can use hashtags in the description. So if you're a restaurant, if you're an Italian restaurant in, I don't know, Bel Air, Maryland, you could put a hashtag there for Italian restaurant. You could put restaurant Bel Air, different things like that. And as people are searching for things like that, it's going to show up.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm back here with Susan, and she's just going to show you just a real quick process. She's got some other ones in the product, but like I say, we're probably going way over our time here. So she'll show you real quick how to do a basic board using Pixlr, okay? And then when you get into the program later on, you'll be able to see how to do it with textures or images or things like that. But just real quick, she's going to show you that, and then I'm going to get back and go over a couple things, and Ed will finish up, and we'll see if anybody has any questions, and let everybody get back to, I don't know, what's it, American Idol tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my wife, Susan, and she's just going to show you real quick how to make a border.
Hi, everybody. I spend my life on Photoshop, so when it came down to Pixlr, I had to kind of give myself my own little lessons so I could learn how to show it to other people. It's very similar to Photoshop, but the great thing about it is you can just access it online anywhere, and I can tend to kind of keep going on and on and on and telling you all about it, but we can't do that tonight. So what I want to do though is show you how to put a quick border around an image so that when you put it into your on your Pinterest board, it's going to stand out and jump out before any other image that they're going to look at. So to start off with, I'm just going to, we are on Pixlr.com already, so I'm going to go to Open Photo Editor, and then I'm going to, that's okay, we're going to open an image from the computer, and let's see, I think we're going to pick this one here and say Open. Now what you want to do is like check the size of this image. So I'm going to go to Image Size right here. It's telling me it's 1440 pixels by 1080 pixels, and we have the constraint proportions clicked on so that if you do change this, say to 1000, and then it will keep it in proportion when it brings the pixels down. So for now, I am going to like make it smaller just because it will move a little quicker. So I'm going to bring this down to about 800, and you can see that it kept it in proportion. It's going to keep it in proportion. Your height's going to be 600 pixels. So I'm going to say okay. So now you can see it's a little smaller. So if we want to put a border around that, doing it without selecting from one of our ready-made ones, you could actually go through and make a bunch of ready-made ones for yourself. And that's explained in detail on the Mining Pinterest Gold. But if you want to just do one real quick, like I'm going to show you right here, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is. We know we're going to go to File, New Image. I'm going to make it the same size as this image is behind here, so it's 800 by 600. I'm going to say OK. Then to put a color in there or make it black or keep it white, you can keep it white too. I'm just going to show you if I pick over here in the color picker, and let's say we pick red, and I'll say OK. Now let's just keep it black to keep it simple. All right, so I'm going to get the brush, which is right here, and then I'm going to increase the size of the brush, so I go up to where it shows the brush sizes. I'm going to go to about 200, and then I'm just going to start filling this in. Now this can be, if you've selected a color like red or orange or whatever, you just fill this whole thing in. Where in Photoshop we could just say fill it with black, fill it with a color, and pick the color. You can't do that with Pixlr, so we just brush it in. So I'm going at 100% opacity to get this done as quickly as possible. Okay, so that's going to be my outside border around the image. So I'm going back to my image area here. I'm going to click on Edit, select all, and then I'm going to Edit, Copy, and then I'm going back to my black background, and then I'm going to say Edit, Paste. There are all kinds of shortcuts, just like in Photoshop, that you can do Command or Control V for edit, paste type thing. I'm just showing you the regular way that you would do it. And now from here, we're going to go to Layer. Here's the transform, Ed.
Edit.
Edit? Okay, Edit, Free Transform. And now what I'm going to do is as I drag this in, it does come around and stay the same size all around, so you don't have to move the picture to try to make it even on all sides, because when you drag it in, it's going to make it even anyway. So once you get it to where you want it, you hit return on your keyboard. And now it's still, if you look over here on the right hand side, the layer palette is open and it shows that you have the image, the picture on top, and then the background's in the back. So you still have two images going there. In order to work with it, if you want to keep it in layers, you have to save this in Pixlr in their own form, and it can only be worked on in Pixlr. Again, if you want to work with it in all other areas, you have to flatten the image. So we're going to go to Layer, Flatten Image, right here, and then that's all you need to do. And you're ready to save it, and then pin it to your Pinterest boards. I am gonna show you one more quick thing because I like to do that. So hang on. Let's see. I'm not gonna save that. I'm not gonna save that. If I go to Ed's Pinterest board right here, and I see an image I want to have show up and put a border around, I'm going to click on one of his boards, and I'm going to right click on this picture, and I'm going to do Save Image As, and whatever it is, I'm going to keep it on the desktop. Let's see, desktop right there, and it says a JPEG. So now when I go back to Pixlr.com and I say open an image, I can pick this picture here that I had just saved. I'm going to say open. I'm going to see what size that image is. Image size, it's 192 by 138. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to open file, open. I'm going to open one of our color backgrounds that I have already made for you in Pinterest Pinterest file. Let's see, and let's just pick teal, and I'll say okay. So what I want to do with this is now I want to make it the same size that this image was, and I'm going to go back again because I don't remember what it was. Let's see, 192 by 138. And say okay. So I'm going to crop this one here, 192 by 138. Let me get it to work. Come on. Crop. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go image size. I'm going to unconstrain the proportions, and I'm going to make this 192 by 138, 138, and say okay. It's not going to make any difference because that is a color, just a color background. If it was an image like this, you couldn't do that. It would look all whacked out. Anyway, so now I'm going to go back and highlight this, and again we're going to do edit, select all, edit, copy, click back over here on the teal background, edit, paste, and again we're going to go to edit, free transform, and I'm going to bring this in just a little bit and hit my enter or return key on my keyboard, and there's your border, and we would again layer, flatten image, and there you go. So now you would save this to a file, and then you can pin it, get it back on your Pinterest board with the border around it, and then you go from there. You can make it so that it links to a website that you want people to go to when they see it, and so on. And that's all explained in the program.
Okay, cool. Cool, and just so that you know, we show you that. I know it's a whole lot easier to go and do it with TuxSpeed, but if you want to do something that's custom, okay, this is how you do it. Like I say, if you have a special image that you want to put into there, or we also have some textured backgrounds that Sue put together for you. So this is a way of doing it if you have specific custom things that you want to do, which happens a lot in our case, and we wanted to make sure that you could do that. So thank you, Susan, for going over that with us.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to go back in here with everybody, and in case they have any questions. If not, we're going to keep on moving. Is everybody good there? Ed and Jay, are you all set with that?
Yeah, anybody have any other questions about Pixlr?
I know we went quick on it, but like I say, it's something that you kind of have to watch.
Yeah, and there's lots more stuff this software does. Our product actually has a lot more tutorials, and then there's even more than that. This is a really, really amazing site. If you're already good with Photoshop, you may not need to use it, but if you're not, or if you haven't taken the plunge to buy Photoshop, but if you're out, you know, the nice thing, this is online. if you're on vacation or out traveling, or you're at a workshop and you're at a hotel computer and you want to do some Pinterest stuff, or you want to make some frames or edit some images, and you don't have your computer with you, if you have these cloud resources available to you, you can still do anything. You can work anywhere. You don't even have, doesn't matter if you have your computer with you. It's wonderful.
Okay, we all good there then? We're moving on, Jay? Hopefully that was helpful for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's saying thanks. It looks like we're good to go.
All right, let's go up here then. All right, and that was Pixlr that Sue just went over with you. I hadn't changed the slide, but again, it's free. And Photoshop is $700, so just knowing how to work with this here, like I say, when you're away and stuff like that, it's a nice program to work with. You'll really enjoy it. So let's see where we're at here. All right, now I just want to show a couple of case studies so that you can see that this is just isn't a bunch of older ladies getting along and showing their needlepoint and stuff like that, that some big players are using this, and marketers and things like that. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly here and let you look at them, and then we'll go down a little bit more for some Q&A, and then we'll wrap it up. So this here is Whole Foods Market. All right, and as you can see, they have 23,555 followers. Okay, and if you go on and look at them in Pinterest, you'll see that they do some incredible things with their linking and stuff like that in selling. So that's one of them. All right. Now this fellow here is a photographer, and I read about him in one of those Mashable articles. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you know what I mean. Okay, and he says that by putting this Etsy site here, this is a site that you can go on and sell products on, and he sells his photography on there. And just so that you know, whenever you put a dollar sign into your description here, like this person here did, it automatically puts this little ribbon up here for the pricing of it.
Really?
Right? Yep. So you can do that, or even if it up above. Now I don't have it shown here. Let me just see. I'm on 10, so let me just try not to get lost here. Let me think what I'm trying to say here. Usually up here someplace, I don't see it right now, but there'll be a category for video and GIFs and things like that. So if you click on the GIFs and make it a gift board, it also does the same thing. It puts dollar signs and sets it up as a little shop for you within Pinterest.
Nice.
All right, so cool thing to know. All right, let's go down here. Okay, the sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team, 4,000 followers here. General Electric has it too. I didn't put them in here, but obviously they're here's the Etsy site that I was telling you about. Okay, and this is something that your offliners will probably want to check into, because they can probably sell a lot of their things in there and drive a lot of traffic with it. As you can see, they have 71,951 followers.
It's not too shabby.
Not too shabby, like I say, and if you get things going with some of these big guys and figure out what makes them repin, I mean, then your stuff just goes out there. And also, I didn't cover it, at all, but you can go in and add videos to this also. So you can just go into YouTube, and there's a place where it asks you, and that's in the program. It'll tell you how to do that. And you can add YouTube videos, and you can also put borders around them to bring attention to them and stuff like that. So you can work Pinterest along with YouTube to even drive your traffic more. All right, and let's see. Here is Anna White. This is the girl that I was telling you about that gets 6,000 visitors a day and some crazy numbers that she gets. And she just see these plans over here on the left side. She gives them away on Pinterest. She has a board all set up with Pinterest, and people go in there and they repin them. And she gets so much traffic coming back to the blog that Sherwin-Williams and Suzuki, and when you go down lower on this site, you'll see she's got about like 10 different people that pay her ads because she gets such a lot of traffic from it. So another monetization strategy.
Yeah, Ed, I didn't even think about this before when we were talking about this, but I mean, this is basically the whole way internet marketing works. Is you give away a report or a white paper or a free training video to try and generate traffic and then work them through your funnel. She's basically doing the same thing in a way. So this would be great for offline businesses or your online businesses, post your ebook cover or your whitebook cover or an infographic for your information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, have so many ways of going about things, and like I say, we'll be testing it with our stuff, and we'll be putzing with you too, Jay, and we'll find the ways that bring the most traffic, and we'll find the ways that you can make some money with it. But this is the Wild West part of it. Everybody learning about it. All right, so it is. I hope that's all good for everybody. There's a whole lot more case studies, but like I say, I mean we want to move on. So does anybody have any questions about the case studies or talk about any of those things, or we're just about done here? So um, we all good there, Jay?
Yeah, any more questions, guys, about how some of these people are monetizing this or driving traffic? No, it looks like we're good.
I'll
We'll,
jump
we'll
in
see if
while people
anybody else
type
has
in.
got anything in the Q&A.
Okay, but we're probably wearing them out here. We're supposed to only do like a little less than an hour, and we're going over. All right, let me go down to here. Okay, this is
Keep in, Ed,
now,
before you move on to the next slide, just keep in mind what you showed with putting the dollar signs up there and selling stuff on Etsy. That link, Etsy, at the bottom that people were using, like that artist, the photographer guy, Chris.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. He's sending people out because he's selling his photography on Etsy. But if this was an offline business, that link could be directly to their website where they sell product directly on their website also. So putting the dollar signs in there and putting the little price tags up top and making shops, as you call them, which is really what they are, is perfect for offline businesses, especially. I mean, if they're local, maybe not quite so much, but if they're not, or they can sell through a company like Etsy, this is just a really powerful monetization tool.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Thanks, Ed. Real good point. Real good point. All right, down here, this is the last thing we'll cover, and then we'll get into some Q&A, and then we'll tell you what we got. So this here, this is called Pintix. Okay, this is analytics for Pintix. Okay, and this is just a portion of my site. Sorry about that. My dog's all jumping around and behind me here. They always want to get into the act. All right, so anyways, this here, this is Pintix, and Pintix, usually it takes a week or 2 weeks to get into it because they're kind of into a beta. But the way it works is, you put in your Google Analytics into it, and then it goes and it keeps track of all your boards. So it shows me how many people follow each one of my boards, how many likes I've gotten there, how many repins I've gotten it. And like I said, I just hooked this up the other day, so all this other stuff in here I'm still learning about. I haven't done a whole lot monetizing these 3 areas here. I haven't done anything monetizing those, but those are the 3 top ones that showed up. So anyways, that's something you'll be hearing about pretty soon too, because that's specifically for Pinterest. But I've also hooked up. I've taken the Zone site down there and some other sites I had. I put Google Analytics on it. I did some pinning for certain things, and I noticed the next day that it jumped, and it was absolutely because of that, because everything else was just a flat line. So it does work as far as bringing traffic, and then you have to be creative to figure out conversion ways, and those things will come. But,
okay.
All right, so now I'll go down here in case anybody has any Q&A. Okay, let me know if you want to know anything. Ask me.
All right, guys, we have any more questions? Josette's asking more about the metrics, what you were just going over.
All right, what does let's go back up here, Josette. This here, like I say, Pintix is you go do a Google search for Pintix. All right, this is something that I just found out about. So I found out about 2 weeks ago. That's how long it took for them to approve me to get on to it, because it's in beta. But what you do is if you have like a pet training site or something like that, I don't know what you got, but whatever it is, you go into your Google account, you get the Google Analytics code, and you submit it here and you put it into the box, and then it will keep track of all of your boards. Okay, so you can see which boards. It actually breaks down. It tells you how all the pins does and everything. It's pretty involved. I didn't put everything in here that's there because I haven't really delved into it, and I didn't want to fumble around with it. But that's what it does. It gives you all your metrics for which boards are the most popular, which pins are the most popular, so that you can see which ones are getting out there, and those would be the ones that you'd want to go in and maybe highlight a little bit more. That type of stuff. Does that answer your question, Josette, or do you want to know something specific? I'll try and help you.
Yeah, yeah, she said she got it. And I assume to track like your sales and stuff, you would have to set up the conversion goals inside of Google Analytics and put your tracking pixels on
That's
your
correct.
thank you pages and okay.
I have not done all those things, but I wanted to make people aware of it because like I said, you told me your group is offliners, and I know they need to know the numbers.
Yeah.
And just to make sure everybody sees it, Jay put the link in. Actually, he's put the link in for all these resources in the chat box. So if you've typed something, just scroll back up. This one, for example, is signup.pintix.com, but Jay's put all those links in there for you.
All right. Well, does that look like everybody? I hope everybody got some good information there. I'm going to turn it over to Ed here, and he's going to just go over a couple of things with you. Unless you have anything else you want to talk to me about, I'll still be here after. Does that sound good, Jay? Turn it over to Ed.
Yeah, Kim's asking if Pinterest seems to have any issues with affiliate marketing in any niches or anything yet.
Not at all. Not at all.
Keep in mind. Yeah, keep in mind the spam issue. What's the ratios that we've heard and we've seen is probably about 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 8. Is that about right, Ed? So if you've got 24 pictures,
right, 8 to 1 is what they say. So in other words, if you put 80 pins into one of your boards, then 10 of them should be, with either you're sending to affiliate site, your site, AdSense site, something like that. But you don't want to put 80 pins in there and every single one of them has a link to it, because you want to stay popular within the community too. And they'll say, God, this guy's just in here and all he's doing is marketing us. And of course, that's what we're there for, but we don't want to get people upset either. So I think, if you stay within their etiquette, that's a good thing. And 8 to 1 is what I've heard from many places. So I'd say that's a good ratio to stick with. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of answers my question, is because I know some people that, obviously the affiliate marketers that have dozens of accounts and everything else that pin nothing but affiliate links. It's not necessarily that it's a rule that it needs to be or has to be 8 to 1. It's just a really good rule of thumb. Just like you don't want to be, posting 800 posts a day on Twitter, or, the same with Facebook.
Right. If you want to go in there and slam them and do all kinds of stuff like that, then just open up another account and use that as a test account, because my guess is that at some point they'll shut you down. But I mean, if you're comfortable doing that, then you market your way. I'm not going to tell you how to market,
Right. And even if Pinterest won't shut you down, the community will just start to ignore you, and that's where you want to make sure you're fitting within. Remember that Pinterest is a social media site, even though it's much different from what we're used to. It is ultimately a social media site. So if people think you're just marketing stuff to them, they'll start ignoring you. But if they really like your images and they stand out and they look cool and they look good on their boards and they see that a few of them are affiliate links, at least from what we've seen so far, they're not going to care, and you'll still get that Pinterest love.
Was this? Oh, Josette asked again. She asked, is the goal of Pinterest to keep people onto the site and repin, or to get them off the site? And from what I've seen, what little bit of Pinterest so far, it seems like it's a little bit of a mix of both. Seems like they're not necessarily going the whole way of Facebook, is trying to be everything to everybody and keep everybody on the site. Seems like
right.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think they understand that us as marketers are an extremely small percentage of this community. Okay, so I think that they prefer to keep everybody on the site. You know what I mean? And I don't have the metric for you, but it's a pretty high amount of time that people go on here and stay on here. Just like with Facebook, I don't know if it's an hour or a little over an hour, but when people go on here, the average time they go in there and they spend an hour pinning and looking at different things, because it has all kinds of resources. I mean, I don't know that if I showed you the search box up there, but on the top of the board page there, you can type in anything you want, and aside from seeing beautiful pictures or infographics, I mean, everything's in there that you can imagine. So I think, again, it's just my opinion, because, like I say, as marketers, we're a small portion of their community, that Pinterest wants to keep everybody on the site.
Right. And for some reason, whether it's the layout of the site, there's a reason why it's driving more traffic than Twitter and even YouTube combined. For some reason, people are clicking through to these links and seeing it more than they're clicking links in, say, Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, which is good for us.
That's right. Well, Martha, I was talking with Martha today, with our other partner, and she was explaining to me about the visual aspect of people looking at things instead of looking at text when they can relate more and get a better picture of what it is that they're trying to get across by looking at images. So much better medium, I think. For us as marketers, it's a better way of going too. Whereas Facebook is more about your family and what's going on. This here is looking at some cool pictures, cool videos. But like I say, then you can take us as marketers, we can do some cool things with that too. So
yeah, Kim says because it's visual, why she thinks it's driving so much traffic, and I think that's it to me too. I mean, it goes back to one of the most powerful things in marketing is curiosity. And where in Facebook, some of your other stuff, you have these huge long descriptions. You just got this eye-catching picture and a link, so people they're just drawn to it and they want to find out more.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Josette's asking, what have you guys found so far that's what's popular? What's the best thing to do to give you the best chance of getting repinned or getting traffic? What's popular, or how do you find what's popular? Is there a way to see what's getting shared the most and repinned the most?
Well, right across the top, again, up on the boards here, let me just see. I don't know if it'll show here. Right here where I showed you, I'm not seeing it here. I'm not sure why. But right up in here someplace, you'll see that it says, I told you it has videos, and it has a category called most popular. So you can click on that, and that'll tell you all the popular things. And then you just look underneath them to see how many times they've been pinned, and just repin them onto your particular category, and then just send them out with your link on it. And then just
awesome.
Then a bunch of other ones you just put out there just because you like them, just because you're into gardening or you're into dogs or you're whatever,
Mm-hmm.
All good?
Yeah, go ahead. Definitely, I know you guys, your wife had said, and you mentioned a couple of things about video and stuff that you had in a product. So if Ed could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
yes,
he's going to show you all that right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you ready?
And if anybody has questions, we can come back to that. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, perfectly.
Okay, great.
There you go, Ed. This is our bonus.
Yeah, what we're doing, we have a little product we're going to tell you about, and it's very inexpensive. This is everybody can afford it. You paid more for dinner tonight, and I'm pretty sure of that. But what we're doing is, even though it's a comprehensive product, even though it's not expensive, but for taking the time to come on here tonight and show appreciation to Jay, and we're going to give everybody a bonus that picks up our product. And if you've already bought it through Jay or even somewhere else for being on the webinar, you're still going to get the bonus. Anyway, let's tell you about the bonus first. For getting our product, we're going to give you this gift. This is a product that Martha and Ed and I came out with a little while ago called Mining Cloud Gold. And as you've noticed tonight, all of the tools are free and all of them are online. So this Mining Cloud Gold is another product that simply talks about a few online resources, and they'll help with Pinterest. The three that we cover in this product is Image Shack, and that's the screen you see here. Ed has done 6 videos on Image Shack showing you how to use it and put images up. And this is an online storage place where you can store images to draw from them. So if you keep images up there and you're out and about, you're out at a hotel or you're meeting clients and you're using their computer, for example, if you're an offline marketer and you don't have your computer with you, you can access your photos. Then there's another product on here, and this one's great if you don't know about this. It's called Screencast-O-Matic. Another free online tool, and Ed's done 5 videos. What this is like a Camtasia, but it's free and it's online, and it'll record your screen. And you can make screen videos that you could put on Pinterest or anywhere. And you can, of course, store them up online, but you can make them here. And it's a really dynamite tool. So Ed shows you the ins and outs of Screencast-O-Matic. And then there's a third product we talk about in Mining Cloud Gold, which helps you edit videos. It's called WeVideo, and this is an online video editor. So you can make your video, for example, in Screencast-O-Matic or anything else that you've used, and you can edit it right online. And
Yeah, just for looking at that little thumbnail there, it looks just like Adobe Premiere.
Yes, it's quite awesome, actually. It's very powerful, surprisingly so. And so Ed's done 9 videos on that, and how to do a bunch of stuff, how to add audio or import it, how to add text and do transitions and things like that. So really powerful tool. So those 3 are in there. So we're going to give you this Mining Cloud Gold product. If you pick up our Mining Pinterest Gold, or if you've already gotten it, just let Jay know, hey, I already bought it. I still want the bonus, no problem. Definitely get you hooked up. So here's our product that we have. It's, as you already know, it's called Mining Pinterest Gold. What Ed talked about tonight was really only a few aspects of it: URL to pin it, Tuxby, and Pixlr. And they only showed you a few little things about those. They get into a lot more detail in the product. The product is 10 videos. It covers how to sign up, how to add the buttons, the pin it button that he showed a little bit about tonight, how to put text on images, how to do posters. Again, he gives more information on URL to pin it. He gets into videos, how to do videos and put them up on the site. And with the other product you're going to get, you'll really be good with those. Talk about framing, which Sue talked a little bit about tonight. They get more in detail with that. If you look up here on the right-hand corner of the screen, there's a cover of a book. This was written by a dear friend of ours, a lady by the name of Barbara Ling, and she has a great product, and this was sold as a WSO on the Warrior Forum by itself, but you know, it's included in this as a bonus also, and it really shows you how to get started with Pinterest. So it'll walk through everything, and you know, that's pretty much it. And the product's only $12.90, as you saw Ed just type on the screen. It's not even $13. So you get all of this great training. It's a membership site. We do add things to this. Ed, you redid the audio and added another video and some other stuff just a week ago or so, I think. So it's
Correct.
a membership site.
We'll continue to add to it. Yep.
Yeah, you can keep going back, and this will grow over time. Yes, there is an OTO. It's $16.87. It's not an OTO because you can buy it any time. It's not needed. If you get the product and you only shell out $13, that's fine. You'll get incredible training and you'll be really good with Pinterest. What we've done with the upgrade is just make some things easier for you. You saw Sue jump into some color images to make a frame real quick. We give you some templates for that, some textured templates. There's some videos. There is a good video on making links and things like that and fancy frames. So the OTO is not needed at all, but it will save you some time and give you a couple extra tips. So I mean, that's it. It's, you know, it is a fancy product. It's filled with lots of value. We could sell this on ClickBank for $67 and people would love it and not return it or feedback.
Oh, and I'm sure you will eventually.
Oh, we definitely will. Actually, this product's only going to be available on the Warrior Forum. Ed, it's coming down the end of next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, the end of next week we're going to actually not the end of next week, but a week from Monday we're taking it down.
Right, a week from Monday. But for all you want here, it's $12.90, and then because you were on the webinar, we're going to throw in our Mining Cloud Gold and hook you guys up. Also, you know, we have support, so you get our product inside there. You get our support number. If you have questions, I mean, Ed, we get questions all the time. I'm in there playing with Pinterest. I don't know how to do this. You know, this is what we do. You know, we do this stuff, and we love to interact and network with people. So you also get access where we'll help you if you're stuck on how to do something in Pinterest, and we're here. So, you know, this is what we do, and we love to help people. We're all full-time at this and just love helping people. So
okay, a couple people are definitely saying they want it. I posted a link. Let me post it one more time to make sure everybody gets it. and I'll post it one more time in the chat box. The links in the chat box should be hot linkable, so you should be able to just click on it instead of having to type it in.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to make this real easy for you. If you go ahead and get this through Jay, just send Jay your receipt in email, and he'll send you the download link to the bonus product. Or you can just send us an email once you're in there and you see our support. You can say, "Hey, I was on your webinar. I got this through Jay. Need to get my bonus product," and we'll make sure you get that. The Mining Cloud Gold as well. Very easy. We'll just send you out the registration link. That's also set up as a membership because we're going to be adding to that as well.
Awesome. Is there any other questions, guys, about Pinterest, about anything else, about these products, about the bonuses? Anything else? Josette, Kim, Brian, people are thanking us. I haven't seen any other questions yet.
Well, we appreciate everyone's time and hope you got a lot of value out of this, and it's been fun for us, I'll tell you that. We hope to do more of these with Jay, and we definitely appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah, definitely. I love doing webinars. It's one of the things I miss about consulting and being face to face with people. You kind of, in doing the online marketing, I get to share and people get to share their information with more people, but you kind of lose that interaction, and webinars kind of give you that back to the best of the ability of the internet.
Right. Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay, and thank you for all your people